I'm going to tell you a story about Dr. Johnson. Just put yourself in this situation. You're driving yourself home from Sunday church. Your family's in the back. They're texting away on Instagram, not really paying attention, and you feel your phone go off in your back pocket. You think, nah, I shouldn't pick it up. It rings again. It's your boss. You have to pick it up. He's calling to tell you that he's forwarding you an email that's very urgent. So you end the call and you immediately check your email. So you check in your email, you're reading, and little do you know that you're about to run a red light. Before you can pick your head up, you're hit by an oncoming car. You emerge, your van flips, crashes into the guardrail. You emerge from the car. You got a cut on your forehead and you have blood dripping down your face. You check to see if any passengers are still alive in the back. They all lay expressionless. You don't need a medical degree to know that they're dead. And then there's the other car that was involved, a gray Honda Accord. You go to check that car. Also, everyone expressionless, dead. You are the only survivor. And that survivor was Dr. Johnson. I was there that day. I was at a red light and saw the entire thing happen. It's a situation that has scarred me for the rest of my life, and one of the reasons why I'll never use a cell phone in a car. Today I'm going to tell you the root of the problem, and possible solutions to cell phone use in cars. The problem is, too many people participate in distracted driving when there are laws against it. Christine Kilgore discusses the mass amount of students who participate in distracted driving. Over 50% of teens admit to distracted driving. That includes texting, eating, changing the music on your iPhone, taking calls, which is just way too high. The CDC's 2013 Youth Risk Behavioral Survey of 8,500 students, there are 45% of those students admit to texting and driving, which is also way too high. Also, in recent years, there's been a rise of casualties because of distracted driving. In 2011, 3,331 people died to this cause. In 2012, 3,336 people died in distracted driving accidents. Total, an astonishing 18% of death in 2013 was contributed to distracted driving. There are laws against it, so why do we still do it? I'm going to get to the root of the problem. No amount of law enforcement, talks like this, are ever going to solve this situation. This problem needs to be solved by the people sitting behind the wheel. Of the 50 states in the U.S., 43 states have laws against distracted driving. Every state has a drinking and driving law, but how well has that worked? Laura Buchanan looks at the root of the problem in her journal, Were You Texting Before You Crashed? In her journal, she comments, texting is the most common form of communication in this millennium. Teens do not like to talk on the phone, and many students admit to distracted driving even though they knew it has a negative impact on their driving. Teens need to be connected at all times, which is a reason why they love to be on their phones, so they can't resist the urge to pick up a phone call, a text, look on social media websites, which is just a huge problem that needs to be stopped. The government has a great website called distracted.gov. It lays out different types of distractions. I'm going to explain to you the different types of distractions that can happen while in a car. The first is manual distraction. This is a physical act of distraction. What Dr. Johnson did when he grabbed his phone was an example of physical manual distraction. The second type is visual distraction. It's when you take your eyes off what you're doing. When Dr. Johnson was reading his email on his phone, he was having a visual distraction. And the last kind of distraction is cognitive distraction. It's when your mind is racing. It's when you're stressed out from work and you just think about that incident that happened at work and you're not paying attention to the road ahead of you, or you're daydreaming, thinking about something else that's going to happen later on in the day. But all of this has a simple solution. Distracted driving is something that has a terrible, or can have a terrible ending to it, but the solution is very, very simple. All you have to do is ask yourself, is this text, phone call, food more important than life? The simple solution is to silence your phone, put it in your console, and resist the urge to pick it up when someone texts you, when someone calls you, because it can change many, many people's lives in a matter of a few seconds. Another way to solve this problem is to buy a hands-free device, something like a Bluetooth, that'll easily help your situation out, and it'll affect many people's lives instead of crashing into another car. And I challenge you to pledge to drive distraction-free by keeping your eyes on the road, don't succumb to distractions, and be hands-free. Now let's go back to Sunday with Dr. Johnson. So you pick up your kid, or you're leaving your Sunday church service. Everyone's in the back texting on Instagram. Your boss calls you. You put in your Bluetooth. You answer the call, and it's your boss telling you that there's an urgent email he needs you to look at. You respond by saying, "Sir, I'll check it as soon as I get home. I'm driving. I'll get on it ASAP." You end the call, you stop at the red light, and everyone gets home safely. Little did you know that you saved 7 lives that day, all because of a Bluetooth. And now, due to the popular outlash in recent years of cell phone usage in cars, the increased usage of mobile devices in cars, and the number of casualties in recent years because of cell phone usage in cars, I dare you to try to be distraction-free by buying a hands-free device, keeping your eyes on the road and not succumbing to distractions. Now I have been personally affected by this situation, and it's truly devastating. It's nothing anyone wants to go through. And I have a personal, emotional appeal to this situation, and I urge you, in all sincerity, to try to be distraction-free